As Amnesty International, what we're saying is that after 4 decades of Mugabe's rule, this election presents an opportunity for Zimbabwe to turn over a new leaf. When you look at the 4 decades of Mugabe's rule, it was characterized by serious human rights violations that included mass political killings, enforced disappearances of critics, suppression of peaceful protesters, as well as suppression of any dissent, including forced evictions. And I mean, there are a few examples that I could give, including Gukurahundi, which led to 20,000 people being killed in the 1980s, over 200 people being killed in the 2008 elections, and forced evictions in 2005, Operation Mrambachwina. So we are saying that this election presents an opportunity for Zimbabwe to really turn over a new leaf. So
what are you hearing so far in the campaigning? We know of there was that attack at a rally just, 2 weeks ago. There was an explosion. Are you hearing that things are otherwise pretty much peaceful on the ground, or pretty much the same that we've seen for over 30 years?
There has been sort of a break from the past violations, which I think has given people some form of optimism that perhaps these elections will not be characterized by such gross violations that we've witnessed in the past 4 decades in Zimbabwe. There has been only a few incidences of political violence, including the death of a 2-year-old Professor Lumbe, whose father has defected from ZANU-PF to an opposition political party.
Okay,
but otherwise,
so
those are
random
incidences,
nothing like the
of
scale
political
of what we've
violences.
Seen.
Yes.
Well, Emmerson Mnangagwa promising free and fair elections, and looking at where he comes from, he was at one stage in the Robert Mugabe stable. You believe him? As Amnesty International? As
Amnesty International, we are saying that perhaps he should be given a chance, but there's that baggage that he carries with him. I think everybody is waiting to see whether or not, his commitments are really quite sincere in terms of delivering a peaceful, free and fair election for Zimbabwe. So it's a wait and see. But perhaps one has to give him a chance and see whether or not he means what he says and that he's going to walk the talk.
So for now, you're hopeful. You're hopeful that we might see the sort of the ending, not quite the complete ending, but that the gross human rights violations will soon be a thing of the past, especially when it comes to elections in Zimbabwe.
This is the hope, and this is what we are calling for. This is what we are calling for, not just in respect of Mnangagwa himself, but all political candidates and leaders of political parties that have registered to contest in this election. Yes.
And do you believe Robert Mugabe will let this happen quietly?
Yeah, I don't think he has much influence now. I mean, and I think many people have said, look, this man should not have anything to do with Zimbabwe's direction of travel and the policy making, and as well as the elections. I really don't think he has much of a chance. He's isolated. People really don't like him that much. Despite, of course, the legacy that he left behind, some of the positives that people have acknowledged, but generally speaking, people have said, no, look, he must have nothing to do with this election.
We'll know in 2 weeks, won't we? Thanks very much for that.
Thank you very much,
Amnesty International researcher Lloyd Kuveya. Your sport